And this afternoon, we are wishing you a very merry, dry IMF Christmas. I don't even know why you guys decided to say dry, you know. Have you seen time? People are chilling.
Yeah, some are chilling.
Some are chilling.
Some are also suffering. Some are not planning properly their lives. You don't have money. When people are attending programs, you're also going. Fuel, okay, you have reduced fuel small.
No,
so, I mean, listen, in the last few days, there's some hope. And I admit that there's some hope.
Yes.
Fuels come down small.
I mean,
the
pharmacy society is asking people to
reduce the price of
prices. Aboso can reduce.
The clothing. That's who was I telling?
Clothing, yeah, we did a story.
30%.
In the Republic,
yes, 30%.
It's serious. So that's the clothes that we use for the Christmas.
Yes.
It's been reduced 30%.
You have been buying the foods for the Christmas.
Yes, I mean, what do we wear?
It's like for the Christmas really has come at the right time.
So all those compendium of factors.
A very wet.
No,
Christmas.
we are not there yet. We are transitioning. So
it's very dry. See, let me tell you something. In 2014, when Ivor Greenstreet said this Bologna is very dry, very, very, very dry, I'm sure things was not as bad as it is today.
Yeah, inflation was not this high.
It was not this high.
Yeah, the exchange rate was not like this today.
Right.
Yeah, so you see, the reality.
Inflation is still above 50%.
Yes, 50%.
50.3.
I can't understand.
It's above 50%.
You know, I've said this here before, and when the UK people say, oh, UK, BBC, Sky, they say they have a cost of living crisis. And you see the percentage, 10%. So, but inflation is at 10% and your cost of living crisis.
Oh, Ghana, that is...
we 50%, we have not even...
We're actually targeting 28% at the end of this year. And that's where it is taking us to. Look, the reality today is that even if you are invited to a party, you think twice. These days, when they invite you to a party, they say, oh, Charlie, I forget to. If they can buy beer, then come.
Bring your own drinks.
Bring your own drinks. Ordinarily, when you're invited to a party in Ghana,
they say, bring something to share.
Yeah, when you're invited to a party in Ghana, you go. You go and chop. Like when Evans invites us to his house once, we'll go and eat fantidokono and fufu and other things. But these days, the boys are
will benefit from the
new strategy. I haven't done in a long while.
The boys have a new strategy. It's, oh, Charlie, then I won't buy beer, but I forget, Charlie, buy cam.
And you see the other part,
that's very true. You give me strategy for my next city. All of you bring the drinks.
Don't forget buy cam. You know that kind of thing.
Think about it. People are also planning. So if you actually ask me to come to your place or to a party or I have to go to somewhere, I think about how much it will cost for me to travel there.
Yeah.
Then I'll consider what I'm likely to get coming there. If it's not commensurate, I may give you an excuse.
Oh yeah.
So it could be wedding ceremony. It could be funeral. So now funeral people decide that since it's your hometown, let me send you the money, right? This is my contribution.
Traveling all the way.
Instead, because the fuel
will be more than what I will give you at the
summer. This is what I do now. If you invite me out these days, I'm unable to come because I always want to be very close to my house.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave that area. I want to be close to my area, so that by the time you leave, you go back home.
Yes.
I mean, there isn't much traffic on the stretch.
Makes sense.
Because look, when you've been invited out, assuming look at where we live.
Yeah.
Then you invite me to come for a program at Osu.
Yeah, can
I drive to Osu?
I can go into Kumasi.
You have to drive back.
And now the traffic is terrible.
Very terrible traffic. I'll think twice. I probably will tell you, oh, child, I'm tired. Let me stay home. And so everything that made the Christmas exciting today isn't as exciting as it used to be. But it is not as exciting as it used to be because you're thinking about your finances.
Yeah, I mean, this is the most uncertain Christmas in terms of the Christmas looking into the future.
Yeah.
The most uncertain. 2023 is going to be one of the most difficult, most unpredictable years of our lives, right? Because of all the, we are not sure how the debt exchange, will pan out. They've extended it to 30th, 0 coupon rate. So there's all this possibility
today we don't know the conditionalities that's likely coming with that IMF deal.
Yes.
And that's one of the areas that Ghanaians tend to suffer indirectly.
The budget give us an indication, right?
Yeah. But if they yes, those ones. Yeah. So, for example, if you are currently leaving school and a young man and you feel like chilling is the best way to go, it will be more sensible to keep money because you're not guaranteed of a job after school.
Yeah.
You get my point?
Yeah.
And it will be more sensible to keep your money because your father will be struggling to pay your school fees coming the new year. And even you yourself, the cost of living might be high for you. So I'm sure people are actually doing the wait and see game.
Yeah.
Even the guys who are refusing to reduce the products, They are doing the wait-and-see game. They are unsure whether the current gains are sustainable. They are unsure whether things will improve or will not improve. So let's keep it and see. That's why people are not really out there spending big time this Christmas. Of course, there are some people, and
regardless of what happens in the economy,
there are people who are above the economy.
Yeah. They live in their own personal economy.
Function at a different level. But for most of us, you are thinking very deeply about whether it is still time to buy food, buy a lot of drinks, because the incoming year you might be in trouble.
No, you see, and the challenge with this particular Christmas is because in the new year, prices will go up again. Let me tell you, my child's school, they've told us when the school resumes, fees are going to go up 33%.
Hey. Wow.
Yes. They've written a letter, and there's a huge fight on the platform. Yes. The last time I listened to the Statistical Service, when they were doing the inflation projection.
Yeah.
They are, in fact, not a Statistical Service. It was the Bank of Ghana governor. They were expecting inflation to peak next year. So the 50% we see now,
it's not the end of it.
It's not the end of it. It will peak at some point before it starts.
But except that this 50% could actually drop. You know, this 50%,
it will drop.
It's actually up to the end of the first week of November. Yeah. So it takes into the second week of October to first week of November.
When the dollar
rose to 15.
Yeah.
And that's why you're seeing.
So you see that the appreciation of the CD will bring
the January inflation will be lower. Because what we are experiencing today will be the January inflation. In fact, December inflation will end in the first week of December.
But
so January inflation will be lower.
But okay, so I'm just isolating the factors. Diesel, petrol might have gone down.
It might go down further.
And transportation also inched down a little bit.
Yeah. So that's what is the January inflation we're talking about. So you may see a few things.
But food inflation has not seen similar drive down.
No, it hasn't. To be very honest,
so that's where the difficulty is.
Yesterday, the producer price
was around 78% or so,
which is going to factor.
I mean, it's giving an indication what is going to happen. So what you would see is that inflation may go up again in December. The December inflation may go up.
January.
So you feel the effects later on.
Yeah. So you feel the effect of what we're experiencing today in January. So that will be factored in the January inflation, which will be announced in February.
Yeah.
So you're not going to see inflation coming down until probably in February.
But that's a problem also in Ghana, right? Yeah. Prices do not go down as quickly as going up. I mean, there's a huge battle now.
Yeah.
Among all the unions.
From the president to whichever group, everybody's trying to say, push your prices down. In fact, we've been saying that, push your prices down. And they've been giving one level of excuse to the other.
They have all manner of theories.
And also, a lot of people's disposable incomes that they had invested in things. Like, we've just been listening to the data bank story, right? People are attacking them, they're now having to work. So people's disposable incomes locked up.
And that's money that they'll be spending this
Exactly.
time. Going on trips, doing the parties, because this money you put down specifically for this.
For stuff
and you're
like
unable to access, you're not sure even the small money you have.
And people think that it's only affecting maybe middle class. No. People forget that the savings and loans are also being affected by this.
Yeah.
And the savings and loans is for the market women.
Yeah, they directly deal with them. They're the ones who are roaming in those markets.
A lot of the savings and loans guys also bought bonds, and they will be exposed, right? So, so that is also uncertain. Yesterday I was listening to the president of the GMA on my show, and he said something very interesting. He says they're telling their members now, because they call for a strike and from the 27th, and they're not going to back down, and they see government also not backing down. So they're telling their members that they should start saving, because they see a situation next year as the strike continues that government may say we can't pay salaries.
Yeah.
If we continue to be on strike.
But if you give that signal, that means that you are mindful of your spending this time, so that you think about the future.
So that's the point. He actually said it on the show. Yeah. That they're actually telling doctors, nurses, pharmacists across the country that watch what you spend during the Christmas, because we are going to fight this until we die. And it's possible government, in reacting to our decision to go on strike, may desperation, right? Yeah. May begin to withhold salaries, right? So save now in anticipation of that happening, so you can survive. So that tells you a lot. This is the president of the GMA talking
exactly.
And that's a very
serious. You see, if you are a man getting ready for pension within the next 5 years, or even 10 years, you know that your pensions
may have some slight problems. Yeah.
Slight problems.
So what you do is that you're also planning.
You are planning.
You see, it's almost like everybody's looking at plan B.
Absolutely.
And because of the plan B, your plan A is constrained.
Completely.
And you're really looking at, where do I put money? What can I stop? What can I not invest my time and energy into now?
Yeah.
so that it will not be wasteful.
And you see, yesterday when we had Kingsley Hayford, a financial friend from Ann Street Finance, one of the things he said, which I agreed with him, is that next year, look, a lot of people must begin to look for other streams of income from next year. Yeah. And so what people are doing this year is to say, I'm not going to spend. I'd prefer to put my money into something productive next year so I can get some money. And that actually would make this, and there's a reason that this Christmas, look, it's a very, very difficult period. Very, very difficult period. You may actually talk about, the fact that, things will get better, things would get better, things would get better. But I tell you what, the reality is that government itself projects things to get better in 15 years' time.
Yeah, I mean, it's just uncertain.
Yeah, the people who are actually run the economy.
Yeah, 15 years.
You are using prayers and other things to claim that things will get better automatically.
The thing about, I talked about my son's school and the timing of the announcement. It's not like January is the beginning of the new academic year. Normally, the announcement of an increase in fees is to coincide with the commencement of the new academic year.
Yeah.
We've done the first term of academic year already. We're going to the second term, and that's when...
but that's strange, right?
Exactly.
It's at mid-year. Exactly. Then you are revising... You are revising tariffs mid-year.
My child vacates today, so I'm sure today when
they will bring some letter along.
Will bring a letter along, and that's when I would know the fees.
And
but that's strange.
Very strange.
Really strange.
And the timing also...
Because people plan. You have planned your entire academic year that I'll be paying this amount of money. Even if they break it down for you.
To hedge against in future, they would have paid the whole year.
Yes, so you're asking me in the midstream to make additional payments for what you have actually taken.
The timing of this letter, it comes before the Christmas. Just the letter came, I think, the 1st December.
I be mindful of how you spend. You still pay more. Can you believe that?
In other words,
it's a 30 minutes.
Yes. As you go for Christmas, remember that when you do
it. You see, that's the reality. Because I'm actually waiting for fees. I don't know how much the young man is going to pay until he's giving, his report and everything. Then I would know how much I have to pay. Now think about this. I would know today. He goes to school in January.
Yeah.
So from now till January, I have to make provision and pay.
And no responsible father, no matter your circumstance, can look your child in the face and say, I'll not pay your school fees.
I mean, school is one of those
things. No.
You want to take him to school at all costs.
It's 100%. So no matter what you do, you need to find the money for it.
What that means is that you have to cut on a lot of things just to make sure that the young man is able to go to school. As the reason, look, and let's not mince words here. We can pretend all we want. The reality is that times are hard. And the reality is that today, even when you are invited to a party, you think twice before you go for the party.
Yeah, because what do you get from it?
What do you get?
See, there's a lot of camaraderie. You talk to people.
Oh, you get free food.
Yeah, no, but take your time.
But the transportation.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking about it. See, sometimes, if you are doing a party that's like 31 hours away, in and out, even if you just use public transportation, let's say you sat in Uber and took you there, the fares are higher now.
Yeah.
And there's traffic on the way too. So what you have paid, let's say between 30 and 40, you'll be paying 50, 60 and something beyond that. When you put it together, it's almost 150. If you stayed home, you can actually order the food that you have consumed, how much I would eat.
Look, Raymond and Evans, we used to have this boys sitting, you know. So, I mean, once a while we'll sit down, we get fufu, we pound fufu and we eat, you know. You go to the machine, you bring it back and, and you eat. Now, after some time, one of the guys said, he never used to complain until one day he said, but you people have this, every day bring 100 cedis, just 100 cedis. So it's too much. If I go to a chop bar, I won't even spend 50 Ghana cedis.
Can you believe that?
Why am I paying 100 Ghana cedis?
And that's what I'm forgetting. This dawn, Parliament approved the VAT increase.
2.5%.
So which means that...
take effect next year.
Next year, yeah.
So that...
Now that they've approved it, starts next year.
Yeah, but we are talking about going forward, right?
Because it's what...
Prices will go up once that kicks in next year as well. So
come to think of it, already you are in difficult times.
Yeah.
Price will go up. When price go up to affect other things, it may fall back on inflation too. Then worsen the plight, worsen the state that we are seeking to improve. That's the other. And
the pain that we are feeling right now.
There's a place I used to eat fufu at the Acquah Mall. I stopped going there because
it became Acquah fufu.
Oh, they call the place. It's like a local nice.
I'm shocked.
You are eating fufu at the mall.
No wonder I said some people are above there. It's above there.
No. It's a place for the masses.
At the mall.
They sell other food.
No masses go to eat at the
No. Acquah Mall fufu.
Mostly malls are for retailers and
fast food, KFC.
No. This one. My only problem is that
you eat fufu at the mall.
At the mall.
You people are not getting my point. My point is that
like 150 on
150 on fufu
to 200.
First it was 70. Then they moved it to 140.
Look at that.
I said, hey, that's okay. Now, Miko, I don't like fufu again. so I stopped going there for a reason. But I stopped going not because I don't want to eat the food, because I stopped going because I felt it was a drain on my finances and I cannot maintain it. Going into the new year, and one of the things they consistently told us is that, now they insist that we add these charges to it. So
from 140, they're going to add more charges to it.
Yes. So all of those charges go to compound.
My house is far from that place. So I don't even
you think about it, too. So that's why, and see, somebody drew my attention to some big retailers are leaving the country. We are pretending we don't know.
Oh, yes.
The games of this world and all of that.
But I know Game was bought by Walmart. Games Africa operation was bought by Walmart. So but you're right still, because Game is South African.
Yeah.
They are maintaining their South African operation.
Yes.
Right? But they've shut down.
We don't
know why, though.
When Barclays was exiting Ghana and other African operations, one of the things they said was cost of operation.
Yeah.
And I know no longer made sense to pump in that much money when the returns were extremely low.
Yeah.
I mean, for some reason, there's a lot of uncertainty to the point that every rational person is rather considering, how do I store than how do I push out? There will be pressure on everybody during Christmas. Family and all of that will be chasing you. What I mostly am thinking about is, who can I cut off and who can I not actually decide to cut off? Because there are some expenses no matter what you have to make.
Yeah.
But looking into the future, you are seeing, well, then there'll be trouble. Then I have to pay this. Landlords, during the COVID period, they were pretending that they will help people. They are beginning to signal to people that they are increasing rent and all of that. You see, we now run an economy where people get help on the face of it. If you wanted a loan for any of the things that you want to do in January today, they'll be very expensive.
Oh, yeah.
That's if you
But loans are very expensive now.
Yeah.
Very honest.
Yes.
Why would you want to go for a loan at this time?
But because that's the cushioning. That's the cushioning that you can get for this period.
People need money very urgently.
So your alternatives are also limited. Yeah. It is the reason why people are being more careful in spending. My friend says it is the boggers that are spending in the Republic of Ghana.
The boggers are returning.
They also are attending all the big programs.
Before they came, some of them started complaining.
Yeah.
Because the city appreciated against the dollar.
Yeah, they thought they would take advantage of it.
Yeah, they were going to take advantage
of it. Spend more money here.
Bring small money here and come and you do. I mean, I know some of the bloggers who decided not to come again.
Because of the dollar.
Oh, I mean,
then they should stay there.
Oh, one of the bloggers came, and then after everything, he went hanging out and doing his own thing. And after everything, they said that, you have to pay more. He said, how? Pay the money and the guy is complaining.
They should stay there.
They should stay where?
No. You know that people not sign on to programs, right? It's also becoming a thing. Big programs with high, expenditure lines, like very expensive tickets. Some of them, you would hear the organizers say that people are not signing up. People are struggling to pay for the things that we thought they would pay a couple of years ago or last year. In fact, it was slightly different in terms of pricing, but we don't understand why people are not signing on to the big tickets. Even if they are being part of your program, they are refusing to do the table for 10,000, 5,000. I mean, you hear organizers consistently say that.
Let me tell you something. I had a conversation with some friends, I think it was about Tuesday or so. I said, let's go for this program. I'm not going to mention the name of the program. So a table is 25,000. So I said, Charlie, a table for 10.
Yeah.
So let's pay 2,500, 2,000.
Yeah. Spending 2,500 one night to go and listen to music. And, well, I mean, see, it's a wonderful thing to do. The whole year you suffered, you actually need to relax and take time and spend your money. It's your own money. That's if it's your own money. But people are really thinking that this money could be put to other use. And I cannot give myself excuses.
No, but people...
I cannot go to the family meeting and say that.
Yesterday at the 9 lessons and carols, I wanted to park that quickly after PM Express. And I got to the road just before the turning to the Labadi. And there was... traffic. I don't know if you noticed, there was some event.
There was a huge traffic. I think it was Black Sheriff.
At the La Palm.
Yes, Black Sheriff had a program at La Palm.
Wow.
Yeah.
The place was... Hey, no, seriously. I'm like... Hey.
Oh, no, for some people, no matter what happens, and you see, we cannot speak for everybody when we come to some of these things, but you think of the guy who was part of the financial crisis. Then your money somehow was converted to bonds, and bonds are also going through some...
That's another issue. They've not even been paid.
Yeah, you're not being paid, then your bonds are going through difficult times. those people ordinarily are people who have enough money to go through life. But they are seeking to think twice because of what's currently happening.
The uncertainty about the money that you've saved.
I think that maybe, I mean, there's some you throw around Christmas, so you can put all your troubles aside and spend.
No.
But there's some reality that's coming in the new year, and we are not doomsayers. We are not
this is one of
doomongers.
those Christmases you can't put your troubles aside.
That's the point.
Because
it stares you in the face there. And you're not so sure. You see, assuming we had settled all of these things.
Yeah, we haven't. There's so much uncertainty.
In fact, I'm actually telling myself that these days, if anybody comes to visit me during Christmas, I'm doing healthy Christmas.
I'm home.
If you come, I give you sobolo, I give you fruit juice.
Anyone says it's spiritual emphasis.
Emphasis, yeah.
But I don't say you are fasting. You say it's spiritual emphasis.
But I'm doing healthy.
And that Christ is the reason for the season.
Me, I'm staying home. I mean,
I'm doing healthy Christmas.
I'm going nowhere.
If you come and visit me, I'll give you sobolo.
Yeah, I know nobody will visit me.
Mostly, I say that I've not had enough sleep in the year, so this time I have to sleep more. You wake up, you sleep, you eat small, then you sleep again. Then by the time you are aware, the days will run fast. We are in the new year, then we are moving on. Then you're actually coming back to normal things and doing the things you have to do. You return to work and you are fully done. If you do not manage it, you'll be overtaken by events. And you see, the thing with you not planning properly is that when emergencies happen, that's when you know. Like what happened to our economy? If you don't put money away, when you have a disease condition,
you put money away where? All the monies you put away is what this man was timely went to,
you want to remove his money from there
before the thing went
investment.
Put money away where? The money that you put away.
By the way, Winston operates not how everybody operates. Winston is almost like every morning checking what's the status of it. Yeah, when he wakes up in the morning, his financial records are more important to him than any other thing.
Very important.
So he's keenly following. So you could monitor. But for the ordinary person, you put your money in somebody's care and pay the person to take care of it and get you some returns. Really monitoring on the daily or consistently is not what you do. So you only actually get a shock when they now come and ask you, so that, hey, what do you say we should do? What do you think is happening?
In fact, imagine having money in these financial institutions and you can't even get your money.
And you have to be. You can't explain to your family that I can't get my money.
No, of course.
That story, you can't tell them. No,
but
the kids don't understand that. They don't believe that you can't get money.
Data bank is being threatened now. They have to,
work. Ask the people who work from home.
Let's read a few of your messages. Papa Nyako says, but I'm concerned here, my brothers. Can we not have a system to check how traders increase goods and services? You are possibly suggesting, control prices, control price regime, which will work in Ghana.
We tried it before. Price control. It didn't work.
Sitting unconcerned and only pleading for Guta to bring down prices. It's you're hoping that the market forces will sort this one out.
Will drive it down properly.
Samsung says this government is the most useless and visionless ever in Ghana's history. Joseph Kujo says Akufo-Addo presenters. Really?
What's he talking about?
I have no idea, Joseph Kujo. Citizen Kwesi Blue says, a data bank, they chop one monies, and you guys talk non-fa. Okay.
Well, this one, Kofi Nat says, you guys are talking as if you can do better than those in government. Has anyone said that here?
No, but I know I can't do better. That's why I'm not running for president.
Yeah, that's why none of us actually was on the ticket for the election.
Exactly.
Yeah,
the second you put yourself there is because you think you have an extraordinary competence and capability to do it.
Yeah,
nobody in this country is forced. Nobody writes a letter to anybody to contest for an election. In fact, in this current government's case, the president was begging everybody. And when he was asked why he was begging, the man told everybody that he will continue to beg because he knows he has something to offer the people. And if you do not have anything to offer the people, don't come and tell us to come and face the system. And I like Isakuma's expression that we are working. He was working like a bull.
Yes.
The expectation is that you also, because you are being paid to do it, you are given rooms to sleep, you have a convoy, you have cooks, you have all the other things.
Let me tell you something. I pay you.
Yeah.
My taxes I used to pay you. Okay, you came to me, and the state of Ghana, of which I am part, we pay you. So it is expected that you work in my interest. So don't come and tell me that I'm behaving as if I can do better. I have not put myself up for elections. I am here. Yeah. Okay? So anybody who puts himself up for elections is opening himself up for scrutiny.
In what you're doing, you're assessing your employer.
Yes.
Yeah. And can you believe that? You are under-delivering. And we are asking you to come to the table with alternatives, do what is right. We are considering our coping mechanisms. We say, we can't do better for ourselves. But who then asks you to be employed?
This one, Fredo Sebons says, stop your propaganda. Okay.
Which one is propaganda?
I don't know.
Maybe the Christmas is not dry for. Is it? The Christmas is not dry for everybody. Oh,
yeah.
Oh yes. I mean, so
Christmas is not dry.
And like Raymond said, Akumbia James says, "Hey Raymond, there are some people above this economy."
And people who eat fufu.
The more 140 Ghana. No easy. Now,
Zachary says, I have made up my mind to get a susu box because I don't trust the banking system anymore, and that is the effect and the consequence.
You know, I actually took I had some coins, very nice looking coins, and I just put them on a table, wanting to count them. The speed with which someone grabbed them,
that tells
I was shocked.
Desperation.
Yeah, Uberforce Agbenyega says, and he's replying to Fedo Sebo. He says, "What's the propaganda?" Clifford Odro says, "We are in trouble. So no hope for the coming year out. This city appreciation is not even going to relieve us." Well, the hope, you look at your finances. See, the whole thing, everything we are saying is that we've started examples. Look at your conditions. If your conditions are good, fine. If you can afford next year, why not? But if you are like the masses, majority of us here, then we'll say, have a merry, dry IMF Christmas.
And there are some people who should not be part of this conversation, in all fairness. The guy that we give fuel to, the guy that we pay cooks for, the guy that we pay a driver to, and give money, and even, see, next year, when we are all in difficulty, assuming the guy is leaving Parliament next year, he will still be paid his ex gratia.
Constant.
That kind of guy should not be part of the conversation.
Constant.
Because you have been insulated from top to bottom from the problems that we are facing on the daily in the Republic.
Gideon J. Anum says, Nana had shown us, don't worry, we will vote them out. He says, Joseph Kujo, fire. Something says, Ghanaians don't even know there is Christmas, so God have mercy on us.
Hey, but the thing is this weekend, though.
You know, but one of my friends shared something with me some time ago. I'll just share this before we wrap it up. You know, one day he called me and said, "Oh, where are you?" And I said, "Hey, sometimes when you are talking for people, the very people you think you are talking for, or you're making their case, are the ones who insult you the most." And he added that, but who asked you to talk for them? Has anybody asked you to talk about their problems?
Good point.
So the person doesn't think he has a problem.
No, he has a problem.
You think he has a problem. Well, he doesn't have a problem. So for those who have a problem, fine.
Johnson is one of those, I guess. You guys are just making noise here because when you people are interviewing the leaders, you don't ask them the critical questions. Really, what are the critical questions?
Examples. Name, interview, time, and let's get to some of them. Which
interview have you heard that the critical questions were not asked? You can share with us.
Maybe you got the wrong network. Perhaps
Said them are true. Very interesting discussions, guys. Keep it up. We shall correct the wrongs come 2024. Bigba Bright. I like your discussion. Good afternoon to all of you. But gentlemen, does it make sense to still be keeping all these ministers amidst these defaulters and restructuring? For me, that's really at the heart of this. We're talking about a merry, dry IMF Christmas. And we are saying some people are not going to have a dry Christmas. We need to ask ourselves, would the government have a dry Christmas? I mean,
no, they wouldn't. They wouldn't. Oh, they wouldn't. At all. How can they have a dry Christmas?
And that's not fair.
But me, the shareholder, I'm having dry Christmas. The employee is very fine.
Chilling.
He's okay. He's chilling. I mean, in any system, it will not be acceptable. The capitalism that we practice today, it is not possible to do it that way.
But that's because you see, we don't practice capitalism even well. There's nothing we do very well in this country. Because if we're doing capitalism very well, somebody would have triggered a reduction in prices. We practice things like oligopoly. We think that so people will come together, all of us will come together. We say, we are controlling the market. So all of a sudden, go to even the market, tomatoes. You see that the tomato sellers, they all agree on one price. So as for us, the competition that we talk about in this country, or in capitalism, we don't see it in this country. Because the tomato sellers will form a cartel, a cabal, and tell you that we see tomatoes in the boy and that's the end of it.
Nana Acquah. Good afternoon, Raymond, Evans, and Winston. Life is about choices. We cannot have some professions we cannot have the same profession, same position, same salaries. We have an open market where every trader decides his own prices. Let's choose what we can afford this X months and stop blame games. If your income is not enough, change your job. By the way, how many awards did multimedia win? I don't understand what.
Well, is it a GJA award?
I have no idea. But the point it makes, if your income is not enough, change your job.
Well, yeah, that's if you have a job.
Yeah, if you have an alternative.
I mean, if you have an alternative job, why not you change and move on? I mean, we've always said that if you're not happy with your employer, sack your employer by changing the job. But can anybody change a job really? That's the other point. I mean, look, government is freezing employment. It means automatically the private sector has an upper hand. Because if government is not employing, you don't have a choice. You would have to look to the private sector. And so times are hard. They make offers to you. Can those offers really take you home? I know somebody who actually turned the job down because he said, I'm going to pay 1,200 Ghana cedis. It can't even take care of my transportation.
Even in and out.
Today, national service persons, I have nephews who are doing national service. You have to support them. 559 Ghana cedis a month. How do they go to work 4 weeks?
Even if you live at your workplace, 550. Even if you live there, you live there. You bath there, you use your what, everything, so you don't pay bills. Assuming you don't pay for your accommodation, you don't pay bills. What you eat alone, you do the calculation. How much is required?
Anyway, listen. 500. We're wrapping up. Anybody?
Let me wish everybody a merry, dry
IMF
Christmas.
You know,
it's my prayer that next year will be better.
Oh yes.
So I'd prefer to wish you a happy New Year. Let me skip the Christmas and wish you a happy New Year.
No, so a merry dry up IMF Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
Yes, but please, before you do anything, check your finances.
First.
It is very, very important. Every decision you make, check your finances. If your finances do not support the decision, please stop it.
Don't use faith to make any decision. You use reason, you understand? Make sure that you have money to back your decisions. Don't make it look like there will be some intervention next year. Just run it properly, that if you get an intervention, we thank God. So that you're not in difficult times, because, well, I mean, it's pretty obvious, isn't it?
Right. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your holidays, whatever.
We'll be back next year.
We'll be back next year. Hopefully by that time, the IMF deal would have been secured and the CD will be 5:1.